Yeah, hi there. These comments are for one of my students in level 6, and you're working on a summary of Stephen Jay Gould's article, right? So, the first thing here is you do need to include the title, right? So, we'll put this in. You got to put that in there. So, according to the article, Sex, Drugs, Disasters, and the Extinction of Dinosaurs, let me put a comma here. Stephen Jay Gould defines three theories. Yeah, you can probably, because we're putting it in the title, maybe we put he explains three theories, all of which maybe say something like this. Okay, then you have he starts he's he chooses to start with I would maybe put here qualifying science, not qualifier. So he chooses to start with qualifying science by creating the question of the extinction of dinosaurs to explain the difference between testable and untestable science. So that's a word order thing. So in this case, you have testable, which is an adjective, untestable is an adjective, then you put science. Okay, and the next one you have the first theory is maybe so we don't repeat theory twice. So the first is the sex theory. So Gould states that one of the causes that led, what's one of the causes, let's change this to leading so we don't have that adjective clause in there. He states that one of the causes leading to the extinction of the dinosaurs was the hot weather, which caused the testicles to become sterile. In the second theory, he points out that I'm going to say moderate. He points out that the moderate doses of poisonous flowering plants was another reason for dinosaur extinction because they, and you're using past tense here, so we got to change this to they could not taste the bitterness the flowering plants. It couldn't taste, how about this? They couldn't taste their bitterness, which means the plant's bitterness. He mentions that the dinosaurs died when they, you want to put they here, they ate too many, just say poisonous flowers because they did not have an effective liver to purify the toxins from their bodies. I'm going to put here in the third theory so you don't have two subjects there. In the third theory, Gould explains that it's not before 65 million years. That is going to mark you as lower level with your speaking and writing. You want to say 65 million years ago. So Gould explains that 65 million years ago, there was a massive comet. You need to put which in there. A massive comet which struck the Earth and blocked sunlight. Maybe put something like this, thereby causing temperatures to drop worldwide. He states that the low temperatures had an impact on the body. Now, here's the key. You can use simple present to explain other people's ideas, but when you start getting into what happened 65 million years ago, you need to move into the past tense verbs in that case, thereby causing temperatures to drop worldwide. He states that the low temperatures had an impact on the body of dinosaurs because of their large size. Maybe this is where you need to stop the sentence here and then begin a new sentence. Because of their large size, they did not have the ability to control their maybe internal, so they will put froze to death or died of starvation. All right, let's keep reading here. So because of their large size, maybe we'll put sizes here, they did not have the ability to control their internal temperatures, so they froze to death or died of starvation. In like manner, Gould starts comparing the life now and before. He summarizes that if the huge disaster happened many years ago, I'm going to say concludes here. What happened years ago you might say what the effects of an all-out nuclear exchange would be. That's probably good enough there. Let's see if we got most of it here. So he concludes that the huge disaster which happened years ago could be similar to what the effects of an all-out nuclear exchange would have on our Earth should such a terrible event were ever to happen. Okay, so notice how I'm using that should. It means if such a terrible event were ever to happen, right? Okay, so there's good and bad about the summary here. So obviously I'm making a lot of corrections with your language use. Remember the one thing I want you to make sure you get out of this. You don't say before 65 million years, or I had a birthday before 5 years. You don't want to say that. You want to say, I had a birthday 5 years ago, right? So that's one thing in your grammar you want to make sure you get rid of. The other thing you want to be careful about is, yes, use simple present to introduce other writers' ideas. That's why you're saying Gould states. Here, he points out. But once you explain what's happening according to these theories, because these theories are talking about things that happened in the past, at that point you want to move into the past tense and the simple past tense verbs. That's going to work better there. All right, now that's good. Now, the main thing about the summary, there's one thing you did not do here. So you explained what the three theories are, but you did not explain which one he likes and why. Or maybe you did that here. Let me read it. It says in brief, there are three theories that effectively explain you might say the demise of the dinosaurs. And then state them. Sex, drugs, and disasters. The theory of the disasters was testable you might put this in there. The theory of the disasters was testable according to Gould because scientists found iridium around the Earth. Moreover, the science was not show proof of enough existence if the theories of sex or drugs has a relationship with the extinction of dinosaurs. This idea, what I would probably say here, I'm not going to write it all here, but you want to say on the other hand, Gould criticized the first two theories because there's no evidence to prove or disprove those ideas. For example, the fossil record does not provide evidence in terms of what happened to the dinosaurs' testes or what their livers could detoxify or not, because both of those things do not fossilize. You have to say something like that, and that would be a more complete summary. So you almost completed the summary, so you didn't quite get everything here, but overall, I think you have a fairly good summary. Now, I'm giving you credit for completing the assignment. This is kind of like practice. If I gave you a grade, I would probably grade you around 75. That would be what I would put it right now. So not quite passing because you didn't exactly explain why the two theories were not considered science and why they were they were considered speculation. You needed to make more of that connection. And also you have quite a few language use issues with your writing right now. All right?